I've been making my own vitamin C serum with vitamin E, and I'm so happy with the results. It's so cheap, and now I'm using more of it because it's so cheap. So I don't feel like reserving it or using just a tiny little bit. So I'm going to show you how I do this. And I'm going to start with some L-Ascorbic acid. It comes in a powder form or even a refined powder form, but I grind mine in a coffee bean grinder just to make it faster to dissolve. Now you can't use vitamin C like you would take as a supplement. You have to use this L-Ascorbic acid. And how you use it, it all depends on what concentration you want. Now I've been making a 20% solution, which can sting a little bit, but I've been buying and using a 20% solution, which hasn't stung as much. So if you're new to vitamin C serum, I love it. It's made a big difference in my skin, but it can be expensive over time. So you might want to make it in a lesser concentration. So I also have a table that I'm going to show on the screen and also put into the description box below the video. If you click show more, you'll open that up. And it says how much ascorbic acid powder to put in based on what percentage or concentration you want. And it has to do with the combination of that and base. Now, what is base? Well, it can be just water, like a pure distilled water, but that would be kind of liquidy. So I mix mine between water and glycerin. Now, if you don't care for glycerin or you can't find it, you can get it from Amazon, and I'll link below where you can get it. You can sometimes get it from places like Whole Foods, or drugstores might even have small bottles of it. This is a huge bottle. You don't need something this big. But there are other things that you can use as well. Some people have used aloe gel that's for the skin. Some people have used chafing gels, like monostat type chafing gels, to mix it in, just something to make it a little thicker. And I also use some vitamin E oil. This I bought at Walgreens. They had a buy one get one, and yeah, just make sure it's a nice oil. And these were mixed in, these little bottles were mixed in with the regular supplements. Now I saved a bottle from another bottle of vitamin C serum I have, and you want something that's not clear. It needs to either be brown or blue, some kind of color glass, or a completely opaque container. And I had purchased some blue bottles from Whole Foods a couple years ago, but I don't like how the droppers work on them as much as this little bottle. So next I'm going to show you what I do. So I start with pouring some distilled water into a bowl, and then I have a separate little bowl where I'm going to put the ascorbic acid powder. But like I said before, I do put it through a coffee bean grinder that I don't use for coffee beans. It's very clean, and that it's all refined. It's a much more refined powder. And then I'm actually going to do the 20%, but I'm going to double it. Apparently it's Tuesday at 10 o'clock in the morning and all the sirens are going off with the weekly test. All right, so I've got my refined ascorbic acid powder, and like I said, I'm going to double the 20% recipe. So I'm going to put in a half a teaspoon of the ascorbic acid, and now I'm going to be doing a 4-to-1 ratio to get the 20%. So if I'm doing a half a teaspoon of the ascorbic acid for a 20% concentration, I'm going to need 2 teaspoons of base. So instead of doing 2 teaspoons of water, I'm going to do 1.5 teaspoons of water and stir that up, and later I'll put in the glycerin. So I'm going to stir this until the crystals dissolve completely. It might take a little while, but that's okay. You can leave it and come back. And then when it's dissolved, I add a half a teaspoon of the glycerin, stir that up. Now, I would pour that into the little bottle using my mini funnel, but I'm not good at pouring. It'd be like me to pour it out of a little bowl and then it just drips on the side of the bowl and onto the counter. So first I pour what's in the bowl into a little pitcher, then I get my little mini funnel and I pour it into the bottle. Then the last thing I do is put a few drops of the vitamin E oil into the bottle, put the lid on and shake it up. So this will last a week. This is not stable at all. If you want to keep it in the refrigerator, you can. I don't. I just keep this in my medicine cabinet in the bathroom. But I put it all over my face, except I don't do my eyelids, but everywhere else. I put it on my face. I skip my lips, but I do it around my lips. And I put it on my neck and my chest and the backs of my hands. Remember when we were kids? I don't know if you remember this, but we used to say, especially for those of us who had freckle faces, if you put lemon juice on your face, it'll take the freckles away. Well, who's going to do that? You know, you do it once or twice and then you realize there's some sugars in lemon juice that get all sticky. But this can do it as well because it's the vitamin C inside of it that's taken away some of those spots over time. But it gives my skin a glow over time. I wouldn't be without it. I put it on twice a day now because I just really enjoy it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll have links in the description box below showing where you can get this. I think I got this small packet for under $3. That's how cheap it was. In fact, I bought some other things that they had at this company, Pure Bulk, you know, just because I knew I was going to be paying shipping anyway, and bought some things to put in my smoothies. And I'll have links to all these other things as well. So thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe and check out some of my other videos by clicking one of the images on the right side of your screen or clicking the little eye in the upper right hand corner. Bye.